So continuous improvement really resonates at Impellam. I think whilst you've got some businesses, so maybe startups or businesses who are fundamentally changing their business model through some crisis, that kind of one-shot digital transformation may be appropriate. But for us, we've got a business model that works. It's about people, and the continuous improvement, the innovation in lots of bite-sized chunks really works for us. A couple of reasons really. One is you're not betting the house on one technology or one business model. The other thing is it's more controllable. You can get from start to finish. You can try things, and if they don't work, you just quietly bin them and move on to the next. But also it's often a combination of smaller innovations coming together that starts to show perhaps the art of the possible, and that then engages you in a conversation with the business as to how you move forward. The pace at which the world changes has increased significantly, and therefore what perhaps 10, 15 years ago, a one-shot innovative process with a project you could spend 3, 4 years doing and would have a fundamental change. Now the time to market for those sorts of things is just so much shorter. The flip side of that is if you're trying to do lots of things and they tend to be much smaller, equally they tend to all carry lower risk, and you can go through that gestation period much quicker. So you're spending typically less money and less time to get to an outcome. And you know, we all know that there's lots of good ideas that never make it to production, and to an extent, the faster you find that out, the better. So I suppose the interesting thing is some of the thoughts that we have within the IT function are actually very similar within the business. So we've got businesses, so we've got about 18 brands who are all in different sectors. But when we break them down, there are some businesses that are slightly more mature, often working in quite tough environments, and we call those optimizer brands. So we're giving them the necessary support and investment to beat the market. Yeah? We've got other brands which are typically in our managed services portfolio, which are more around enhancer. So these are businesses that could have double-digit year-on-year growth, and they need a different type of innovation and a different type of support. So by categorizing the businesses, you've got some businesses which are looking for much more short-term wins and around maintaining the status quo, and then you've got other businesses that we're supporting in slightly bigger plays. So that could be internationalization, it could be changing business models, providing new services to clients. There's certainly an element of plate spinning. So I think what we've tried to do is pick the things where much more of a one-size-fits-all. So there is a lowest common denominator. Generally things like service desks, infrastructure are best provided centrally. We've had lots of debates because all our businesses are very similar in some aspects but very different in others. So there's a mix of things. So some solutions we can cross-fertilise across businesses. So as an example, the underlying infrastructure of all our websites, irrespective of the brand, is the same. The sites may look very different and they do different things, but the infrastructure underneath is similar. In other areas, so if we look at something like, I don't know, blue collar, so the provision of warehouse workers, chefs, retail people like that, it tends to be high volume, as opposed to some of our businesses which are maybe scientific or technical, managerial, which is much more lower volume. And I think the mistake a lot of organisations make is trying to create a one-size-fits-all. They are fundamentally doing different things, albeit within very similar markets. So whilst that creates more projects and more initiatives, actually, because you're not trying to balance too many things off, the danger is you end up with a compromise of solutions which doesn't really suit anyone. Whereas what we've got is some businesses, so I don't know, nursing and doctors, for instance, which is so specialised, it's unlikely that a solution that would work in that market, which is in the UK dominated by the NHS relationship, would cross-fertilise into scientific or blue collar or something like that. So I think it will continue to evolve, and I suppose the exciting thing is the fact that you don't know exactly where it's going to end up, both as a role but also as an individual, is one of the exciting things. It gives you a set of tools to roll with the opportunity. So you know, if technology and innovation, digital takes you in a certain direction, then we can go in that way. Equally, you know, the role of the CIO is becoming so intertwined with the role of the business leaders, then those roles are becoming interchangeable, and that's, you know, that's really exciting.